Hello, you squirrel whisperers. Wow, that record button hit fast. Welcome back to the Eyes Syndrome Podcast. I'm Ben Gilman. As always, I'm joined by Helen Watkins,
Hello.
who has
What's
magically made Tara and Troy disappear somehow. I don't know.
I did it with my brain.
Okay, Professor Xavier. How are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. It's two-person booth today.
You've been whispering to squirrels again.
Well, squirrels are very cute. If you take the time to feed them in the park, they will come.
That's true. They do like food.
Much like John Barrowman, you just need to shuffle your nuts and somebody will come over. Ba-da-ding.
Bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, and all of
Yes.
that. He does like showing his nuts to people, doesn't he?
Yeah, and unfortunately, he has been rightfully called out for it now. A little bit. It's a bit too much.
It is a bit too much.
If people are comfortable with it, whip them out, mate. But always check before you do it. Get to know somebody. And
I'm not really sure there's an entire way to suss out if the entire room is okay with you getting your nuts out.
You can't just walk up to somebody in the office and go, "Hi, do you mind if I just park my nuts in your head for a laugh?" Yeah, no.
It's not really a workplace chat, is it? You know,
No.
how do you feel about head nuts?
Well, for there's some work colleagues of ours that would most probably think they could do that and get away with it, to be fair.
Oh, let's keep that out of the podcast.
I know, but hey, they don't know who I'm talking about, so hey, it's funny. Yeah. Anonymity is brilliant because you can't prove nothing in court. It's brilliant. And they most probably don't listen to this podcast anyway. And nobody will know who I'm talking about because it's only between you and me that knows. Great. Lovely. And it will stay that way.
It's amazing. Yes.
It's good. Yeah, so this next two episodes is most probably going to be me and Helen as we do double back-to-back recordings now. It's how we do it to get a constant thing. And Friday nights are party nights again. We can all go out and it's a bit more freeing, I think.
It's a bit, yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. Let everybody have Friday nights for drinking and Sunday morning right now for talking crap about telly and the occasional
you'll
film.
be listening to this. If you download it on Sunday evening, it'll be literally the day of. Brilliant.
Hot and fresh out the kitchen and
as long
all
as
of that
Troy
stuff.
remembers to give it to me quickly, yes.
He never forgets.
I'm sure it will be fine. Troy will be listening to this before he does it. Troy, get it done. Right, brilliant. So I've got a couple of things. I've split into two. So next week and this week, I've put movies and films separately. So I'm going to start with Alien vs. Predator. Requiem is a great idea. Obviously, Aliens versus Predator. Who doesn't love a smash up? The camera work in this is a bit shit. Have you seen this film?
I haven't. No, I've not really. I've seen I remember seeing the Alien ones when I was quite young, but I'm not really got into the Predatory ones, which I probably should because I do love a bit of sci-fi horror stuff. But tell me about it.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's there's an alien predator thing at one point, a hybrid, and it's all funny, you know, like a predator goes to find the predator alien hybrid. The humans in it are stupid and doable and killable, and like they're fluff. And obviously, the acting is high quality porn acting. But the camera cutting on fight sequences, it's dark as like a tunnel. It's possible to see in the darkness who's screwing who, basically. And when every fight sequence is either in a tunnel at night time, it's like, why can't we have one in the daytime where I can see what's going on? Why is the camera angle so quickly cutting like it's got flipping having a epilepsy fit, like flashing quickly from cut to cut?
I think that they have nighttime fight scenes for like to make CGI more forgiving, I think.
Yeah, it looks like it was shot for 50p. I always like the Predator. Having them crash down on Earth and go through wacky, I think it was Iowa, backwards characters going on. Watching a kid get destroyed by an alien hugger was brilliant. Watching it bust out of his stomach, I thought, you're not even protecting the children on this one, mate. Here we go. I thought it was a bit... Yeah, I thought it had balls. I thought it was fun. I just thought it was like an action movie. I haven't watched the first one. Everyone tells me the first one is the worst one. Okay. So this is apparently the better one. And I don't feel like I've missed anything. I'm not really a big fan of Aliens. I'm more of a fan of the Predator. Prey, the last one with the Native American one, was fantastic. So, unlike the Aliens franchise, the Predators had a better film recently. They seem to be making worse Alien films.
Okay.
So.
I'm always interested when they like mash these two things up, how they like make sure how they kind of convince us that it's a shared universe.
It works quite well with the Predator and Alien universe. It doesn't take much putting together because it's sci-fi, so there's a lot less.
Yeah, there's a
Stuff
lot less. Yeah.
with like a Freddy or Jason or Michael Myers film, for example, you would have to make some bullshit up on how does this work, because otherwise it's a lot of crossing over, right?
Yeah, because you're dealing with like time and eras and in-universe stuff, isn't it? I suppose when like a film like is a slasher, then it's set in our planet, but it has little tells that make it like sets it in a time, and you have to make sure all that lines up, I suppose. But if it's like, yeah, this is a spaceship, we are in space, it's a bit less onerous, I suppose, on the team to try and make it all fit.
They did okay. I don't hate it. It's a solid 2.5 film. It's fine. It's very short. It doesn't outstay its welcome. Seen worse. I mean, I also watched The Return of the Living Dead, which is a
Oh,
19
nice one.
Bob the Zombie, Brains. So that's where Brains comes from. Now I know where that immortal line Brains comes from. I would just like to say the acting here is even worse, but for some reason, the Michael Jackson looking guy from the Thriller setup is like, he's like in a group of people, you always need the leader, right? I like how he was just always like fixing windows and taking charge of a hammer and the leader. Like, and the group of friends is like here's the 80s, man. Here's one of every part of the 80s group that you can see. I did enjoy the bit where the woman took her clothes off and ran around butt naked for most of the film.
And she
Like,
wasn't from Stop Oil.
even with her shave, I couldn't even find the vagina. It was shaved. I don't know. They might put something.
Oh, mate.
No, but like it was camera. It was like eye level, and it's like I spent time like, where is it? Like you couldn't see anything. It's just like some alien or something. It's her fault for taking her clothes off.
Probably not her idea to take her clothes off.
I hope she got paid a lot, but considering the budget of this film, I don't think she did. And I thought she put her clothes back on, but she runs around the whole film starkers. It's just amazing to see. And with the rain machine going on, credit to the woman. It is a bit silly. I do like the fact that there's older people in it. You know the ending. The ending is kind of nobody survived, and I just thought, well, you've just made it worse because the acid rain from the mushroom cloud is just going to make it a bigger problem for you. Typical America, new kit. But I enjoyed it. I now feel like I've seen that film now. For some reason, zombies that think they could have done more of it, like them calling for more people by speaking, using like the police ambulance to send more people.
Oh, yeah.
Very clever. I enjoyed it. It was a bit of. I think when I saw the opening bit and there's like the 6 of them, I thought, oh, it's this film. Okay, so this is the film it's going to be. Okay, and once you get in that mindset, you can kind of just enjoy it for what it is. Like, yeah, I'm happy with it. All through some of the stuff, like why would the military put some out of date stuff in a warehouse? Why would they then hit it? Why would it was just like you have to do stupid things. Even the fact that the third step is bad, don't do that because you know at some point that is such foreshadowing with a massive hammer. You might as well be saying, remember this point right here. This is important. So yeah.
I love it when they do that though, because sometimes you have to work out how they're going to put it in there. They're like, right, okay, so that's obviously the Chekhov's gun in this film. How is it going to be? Like, how are they going to do it? Like, what's going to? In my brain anyway, I'll kind of take that bit and work backwards. Be like, oh, so it's the staircase. Aha, how's that going to be fitting then?
When she went up the stairs, I thought, oh, she's running up them fast. This is it. Boom, Uncharted style. If you've ever played the video game Uncharted, crumbling architecture, down she comes.
I haven't, no, but I guess that crumbling architecture's got something to do with it.
Yeah. Anytime he jumps, sometimes the crumbling walls of a temple will just fall and you've got to move quickly. So just kind of like that. Yeah, it's a classic. The acting was decidedly interesting.
Usually is in these things.
Yeah, it was just the start of the first half an hour of the film is wild. It was just like, what is, this could either be really good or awfully bad. Awfully good, like in the best possible way. Doesn't care, but it is fun to watch. I genuinely enjoyed the film. So that's good because it could have gone the start with it all running around with flares in a graveyard where she's just ripped her clothes off. I'm just like, what type of effing film is this then? Like this is interesting. It's not something you see every day.
No, that's true.
Only in the 80s would you get away with that now, right?
Yeah, I think you get away with it now, but it's slightly different, isn't it? It's always like, oh, we're going to do a cheeky nod to this kind of thing that happened in 80s films. And it's like, well, you're still doing it, aren't you? It doesn't matter if you call it like an affectionate nod. You're still doing it for titillation.
They took a lot of drugs in the 80s on full display. I think everybody was snorting the cocaine powder in this film. It looks like it.
Well, you can't. I suppose it must have been pretty grim.
Yeah.
Shooting a low budget film in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I have watched season 3 of Stranger Things.
Okay, how you finding it?
I'm halfway through. Bit slow, but it's doing that old thing of starting the season slowly, then ramping it up.
Yeah.
I just feel like I've seen the length of season 4.
Yeah.
I'm worried season 4 is going to be a bit patchy with like how fat it's going to get because it's got a big cast in season 3 and it's doing well with 1 hour runtime still. But I am conscious of how long the episodes of season 4 are because they're all like double the length each episode, and I'm thinking that's going to be padded more, quite padded. I'm worried about season 4.
Yeah, I think that's a legitimate concern. It does get a little bit more bloated as the seasons go on. I think because they're just trying to do more, like they just want to have more and more kind of different styles, like everybody's in their own film.
I do like the group. Elle's boyfriend is going to get a slap though because he's the worst friend ever. And Will is the damsel in distress of the group. Man's always moaning about something withdrawn. I'm interested to see what they do with Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you know more than I do. Gives the man something to do.
There's a lot of fan theories out there. I think you just need to let it. I think the second part of the 4th season's coming soon, so I think we'll have some more questions answered. But
there's a second part of season 4. We haven't got to season 5 yet.
I don't think there is. I think it's going to be. Is it not going to be 2 parts of season 4 and that's it?
I hope to God they're not dragging it out this time because they did this with The Walking Dead and people got sick of it after a while because I just. Well, that last season of The Walking Dead went on longer than a bloody opera play.
I gave up on The Walking Dead because every episode was the same.
My wife wanted to watch it last night. The final episode in Disney Plus just to like see what it was. I fell asleep immediately because I don't care. Zombies are difficult for me to do because it's been done. Like
yeah, it's hard to like find different ways of doing zombies, isn't it?
But Stranger Things is definitely, thankfully, they're all keeping their clothes on. So at least now when we do the 80s, there's no cocaine on set, which is great. So we can have more character-based stuff.
Yeah, it's It the movie, not It the book, isn't it?
I love Stranger Things. I really love it. I love the quiet moments because I know it ramps up second half always. So I'll report back in 2 weeks because I'm going to finish season 3 before we record in 2 weeks' time again. So if I don't mention it next week, you know why.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've just noticed, you didn't tell me this. Welcome to Wrexham has had additional episodes added to Disney Plus.
Has it? Oh my gosh, when?
I don't know. There's no season 2. I checked it and it has more than the first 9 episodes because you know Disney show you and there's like another 9 episodes I hadn't watched that weren't there previously. I was like, oh.
I might have a look for that then, because that's...
Well, it deals with hooliganism, the players more. I think it's better than the Sunderland documentary on Netflix, I think, because it focuses less on the stupid fans, which is good, and it focuses more on the players and the owners. That's be fair. There's no good reason for hooliganism. They tried, they did an interesting episode on it.
Yeah.
And even Ryan Reynolds can't defend it. He's just like, there's no excuses for it. I've never liked hooliganism. Every team has it. I can't defend it. I think it's a waste of time.
Very interesting though. If you want to talk about hooliganism, in my hometown, there's 2 rival football grounds, and their stadiums are on the same street.
Oh dear.
And because they are so close together, they share a farm, which is like what we call a hooligan gang. Because there's no point in them being rivals, so they'd rather team up with the other one than have like 2 separate firms. So they join together if there's somebody.
Sounds like a wrestling storyline where 2 groups of arseholes come together.
Yeah, they tag team. Danny Dyer did an episode of his football show on it, and he couldn't believe it. Was like,
I can't stand Danny Dyer.
His mind was blown, basically.
Where are you on Danny Dyer, actually?
I quite like him. I think
I can't stand the man.
I met him once, and he was very nice.
I'm sure he is. It's just his persona comes off. It winds me up the wrong way. I don't think I've got any reason to hate him. I just can't. You know, when those people you can't stand.
Yeah,
I just don't get on with it. But I don't have any personal, like with James Corden, he's just a dickhead. With him, I don't hear anything where I would call him an arsehole. I just never got on with Danny Dyer. Like us, but I'm sure he's fine. He's one of these people he's like Justin Bieber. Don't really hate the person. I just kind of don't really have a reason to like them either. I don't personally hate them and wish them to just disappear.
But sometimes you hear things about Danny Dyer that make you think, oh, he seems like a good bloke, but I've never heard anything like that about James Corden.
Let's be honest though, going back to Ryan Reynolds, he's much more handsome when he's Deadpool. Oh, that's your episode title of 157. Deadpool is much more sexy than Ryan Reynolds.
And so I think Rob McElhenney was a bit fitter before he got buff, to be honest. But that's just my
the other one, the co-owner?
Yeah.
Oh, there's some great stuff with him because Ryan keeps coming over to Wrexham and leaving him there. And obviously it's set for the camera where he's like, keep the bastard, and you keep seeing what he's doing. And you hear Rob keep bitching about, this guy keeps leaving me in the LA. What's going on? Like, it's so funny.
It's when they keep calling him Ryan's friend as well. Like, he's not semi-famous in his own right.
It's really good still. And I like it. I've got 4 episodes left. But it's an easy watch, and I love the fans. They're not like the Sunderland lot where they're always moaning. Generally, quite, because they're Welsh, they've got that positivity, and it feels a bit more relatable. Because they're not like a big, like Sunderland were like, at one point, big league winners at one point in the 70s and stuff. Yeah. I think once you've had that, you want it all the time. I'm a Tottenham fan, and we didn't get anywhere for Europe now. We've been in Europe for 15 years, and we're dealing with that expectation of our past as well, where we expect to be at the top table. So I know football fans can be difficult, but there's something about the Wrexham lot. I think it's absolutely adorable having old ladies have a coffee still. They still go back to those Wrexham ladies having a cafe.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Still good.
You need to start on Ted Lasso then, if you're like, welcome to Wrexham.
Yeah, we haven't activated Apple TV yet. I will.
Oh, honestly, mate, you need to be ready for it when you do. Like, there's so many good things on there.
I will. We're trying. I think we've got Disney for 1 month. We're going to get rid of it. And then I think Apple TV will be the one where we got like a 3-month subscription. That will be the main pillar of our TV for a while.
Yeah, I think Apple TV for streaming, it's not got any back catalogue, but their original content.
That's fine.
Their original content is the best out of any streaming
always
service.
Getting interviewed in Empire and Total Film and stuff. People are really into it. So I've noticed that they've had lots of good shows. I've got a couple more.
All right.
So I'm just getting them out. Nora from Queens, Aquafina. By the way, iPlayer, a tip: if you've got a new season of a US import, it would be nice if you promote that instead of we just guessing that you've put it back on, because they take things on and off.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say season 3 of Nora from Queens is here, and it just appeared, and I was like,
It's
that
on my front
artwork
page
looks
of
a bit
iPlayer.
different. Hold on, let me click it. Season 3's there. So try and promote it like Netflix and everybody else does when they get a new season. Put that on the top front page. Let people know it's a new season, because they're really bad at the BBC at promoting their stuff, and they wonder why they don't get better ratings.
It's on the front page of my iPlayer.
No, but it's in the comedy bit. It's been added to the front of Ghosts and everything. I was like, well, how are you meant to know that it's a third season? Because it could be the first 2 seasons. Like, you need to tell people, here's a new season. That's it. I'm really glad it's back. It's the same old good stuff, and it takes a good shot at reality television in the second episode. I don't know if you've watched it before.
I haven't. No.
You have to watch it. You'll like it. And the mother, Nana, she's our favorite old Asian lady. She's fantastic. They give her enough, and they know not to use it too much.
Yeah.
And bao bao is now one of my favorite words to use. Please go watch it. You'll really find it hilarious.
All right.
And the reality episode is hilarious, because literally, if you fail, you get exploded, which I think everybody in Big Brother should. Anyone that goes on a reality show should have explosives on them.
Oh.
It's so good. We started laughing when the explosions happened because they weren't told about them. Anyway, go watch that. One more film. There's so many films. Love, Simon, which is a Disney Plus.
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it?
I liked it. I would like it to be at a point where it isn't a big secret and people can just be like, we're working towards that bit. There was one bit where he's like, it's a big secret. I looked at his parents and thought, I think your mum is Jennifer Gardner. She always plays quite good parents now and stuff. I'm sure you're A-okay, kid. It's just a confidence thing.
Yeah.
But I do agree, because you've seen the film, right? So
I have, yeah.
The guy, like, he went big, and I thought, oh shit, don't go big, bruv, don't go big, bruv, don't go big, bruv. And he did the whole giving away his coming out thing, and I thought, and it does reflect on why do straight people not have to come out as straight. And I thought that this is an interesting mirror here of different pressures. Also, like, it's like a big, I don't think I've ever seen a film or series deal with this side of the gayness yet, where somebody's not ready to come out yet and somebody takes that away, and how big an impact that can have. I've never considered that before.
Yeah, no, it's an important film. I think it shouldn't have to be, but I think it was nice just to let people know how scary it is.
So I'm watching it because I listen to a podcast called Romance in the Pod, which is about romance films. So they do a film every week, and they do the horror version. So this is where my random horror movies come in. But I always remember what they've talked. So if I've seen the movie, I will listen to their review. I don't listen to an episode if I haven't seen the film ever.
Right.
So when I had Disney Plus, I checked the list and found quite a lot of films. So I didn't know it was a gay story going in or anything. I'm just watching it because it opens my mind to new films.
Yeah.
And I thought Love, Simon is pretty cool, and apparently it's got a sequel called Love, Victor, which I think I need to go stretch across.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. I can't.
It's a film.
Oh, interesting.
It's a TV series. There's 3 seasons, so it's done all right. But yeah, that's me. I just thought it's a weird selection, but you see next week as well. I've watched a fair bit more rom-com to balance out the horror and TV a little bit.
That's good.
It's trying to be interesting. Anyway, what have you been watching, my darling?
I went to the cinema yesterday a bit late to see Across the Spiderverse.
Which one?
Across the Spiderverse.
So Spider-Man. So the visual was a slam dunk because you didn't have to watch loads of movies to get it.
Yeah.
So how's the sequel? Please tell me it's as good. The reviews
say it is. It's as good. If they land the next one, I think it will definitely be the best Spider-Man trilogy.
It'll be the best trilogy, period, because the third film is always difficult for any franchise to do, right? I always think the middle one is, because the middle one sets up the third one, right? So it's
always sags a bit, I think, because it never really has a satisfying conclusion.
It's called Across the Spiderverse.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I think the next one's called Into the Spiderverse, I think.
I remember when Miles Morales came into the comic books in 2010, and he took over from Peter Parker, and people went, "Oh, that's really cool." Reflecting on, "Oh, this is kind of cool." Like, "Oh, this is awesome." I remember. So when I found out they were finally introducing him into the first film, I was like, "Well, it's about time," because eventually I think he will become. When Tom Holland hangs up the mask, I think the next Spider-Man will be Miles Morales. It's going to just be a transition because in the comic books, you kind of wonder, is Peter Parker going to retire properly? Because the mask is already, he's very popular. Sometimes it doesn't work quite very well when you try to replace the name. It depends on the writing, right?
I think
And
so,
Miles
yeah.
Morales proves that a lot of people are not against different colored people having the role. It's about how you write the role. If you write it well, people will just be like, "Cool," and I was into it, big time.
But I think the thing that like the Spider-Verse films do is that they introduce a lot of different versions of Spider-Man, don't they? So
Gwen Stacy was always better than Mary Jane. Mary Jane's just a whore. Yeah. So.
Let's not call women whores. Come on, let's not do that.
Kirsten Dunst, I'm calling you out. Actually, no, she played a very classy Mary Jane. Actually, well done to Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
Actually, and the new one, she's done quite well. We haven't had bad Mary Janes. We haven't had bad Gwen Stacy. Actually, Spider-Man 3 Gwen Stacy's pretty awful. But Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy's pretty good as well.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
actually, you've nailed the girlfriends in any Spider-Man movie so far.
Well, you've got a Gwen Stacy Spider-Man in Into the Spider-Verse, haven't you?
Yeah, and that was also in the comics, and it's been like a big hit. You know, I mean, it's good to see because I remember when Bucky and Falcon became Captain America in the comics again, people went with it. Just like, okay. It wasn't forever because Steve Rogers is eventually going to come back from the dead. It's a comic book. But everybody was like, yeah, it makes sense that the Winter Soldier and Falcon would take it. When Thor's girlfriend took the hammer, I don't think people were as interested in it. It was a bit of. I think it's because they were doing too much change at once.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it was the storyline. Where in the comics you were getting Bucky and the Falcon, not Falcon. That's a Nintendo system. To be serious backup players that you cared about. So when after Civil War in the comics, Captain America gets shot, and then Winter Soldier has to give it up to Falcon. It took years to get there, and it felt like people were like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. You've given me the time with these characters. It felt like it was always the plan. And with Thor, for example, when they made it Lady Thor, it just felt like you're just doing it to make a buck. It has to be done well.
I think Thor: Love and Thunder was. I don't think it was just wasn't a very good film. I think.
Talk about that, then I was going to leave it off, but I've also watched it.
It was like
Waka Tahiti sometimes is too weird for his own good. I thought it worked in Ragnarok.
But I think he tried to replicate Ragnarok.
And by the way, the goats are not funny. Those goats are funny the first time, and after they kept going back to the goat thing, and it wasn't funny. They're screaming goats. Like he's even admitted in an interview, should have done the screaming goats. No, you shouldn't have, because it stopped being funny. Valkyrie was wasted. Why was she here? What a great actress and actor you've just left. You could have done this with Valkyrie and Thor. You didn't need. Natalie Portman was great in the role, but I just felt like that should have been a Valkyrie job, right? You should give him more Valkyrie background because she's barely in it.
Yeah. Yeah, she's underused, I think.
That's where you have her fight with Thor in the final battle. And the main villain, there's not enough given to him.
Well, it's just a bit.
Some of it works. Melissa McCartney being Hela from Ragnarok in the play was hilarious.
Yeah, there's some good bits in it, I think, but it's a series of bits, isn't it? That film, like I think, and it should be more cohesive as a storyline. I just think it was like how I can't even. It was like just like a combination of set pieces. It didn't feel like a whole film to me, but that's my opinion. Don't write in.
No, I'm just going on what you said about it because I wasn't going to talk about it, but like I thought it was okay, but it stopped me. I watched Doctor Strange again, and it just felt like American Chavez. Why are we not giving her a bit more power? Because all she can do is kick portals. Where's her character development? I just felt she was like a damsel. It's not a really. There are things, and when I heard Doctor Strange forgive Wanda Maximoff for what she did in WandaVision, I'm like, no, no, you just say no, no, you don't. Look, they got the complicatedness of Scarlet Witch correct, right? Don't get me wrong. Tragic character, trying to do the right thing, is still human in there, doing great acting, Elizabeth Olsen. You're kind of getting it, but you can't just say, "Oh, it's all right, you enslaved the whole city." That's just like shit coming out of the mouth. That is, address it. Yeah. Have it addressed. Figure out a way to talk about it, but don't just say, "It's all right, girl. You can save a town." That's awful writing.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Scarlet Witch. I like the movie. It was nightmare horror as well, Doctor Strange. Loved that film. I rewatched it recently on Disney Plus. It did some great horror imagery. Sam Raimi's having a blast doing it. I was thoroughly entertained.
Oh, definitely. It was it had a lot of horror in it, and I liked that.
Impressed.
It's what it needed, I think. It needed to be a bit like, I think previous films have not kind of, we've said, yeah, the universe is at risk, but they've not kind of made us feel like the universe is at risk. So
I kind of need these more original Marvel things because they are good when you do them. And Thor: Love and Thunder is. I'm going to watch Black Panther 2, which I've been told is a slammer next. So
yeah, that's good.
I've heard Ant-Man's pretty okay, but it's like Thor and Love and Thunder. Then Guardians is quite good. I've heard
Guardians 3 is amazing.
And then people are wondering, is the Marvel's going to be the wet scrimp again? Because it seems to be good, bad, good, okay, good, okay. And again, I'm looking at Marvels. I don't really like Cara Danvers. I like Miss Marvel. Yeah. She's great. I'll talk about it next week. I'm watching Miss Marvel, but I will talk about that next week. I like her. She's likable. I don't mind the other Miss Marvel that I saw in WandaVision and a little bit here. I can't stand the actress who's bloody Miss Karen Danvers. She's got a lot to prove to me. I like 2/3 of that trifecta, Helen.
Yeah.
I think it's the attitude of the actress and the acting. I think she's been good in other stuff that isn't Marvel. Actually, that's what makes me annoyed.
I don't know. I didn't hate it, but that's very much my opinion. I think
I want her to be good. That's the thing. I can see a good movie in there. Hey, what else do you want to talk about? It's been so much me.
Oh no, it's fine. I just watched a whole load of stuff that's been put on Netflix from BritBox. I go into these little detective like crime things every now and then because they've just whacked on Angela Black with what's her face? I can't remember her name now. Anyway, she's a British actress. She's in loads of these kind of things. I'm gonna have to look her up. Sorry, otherwise it's gonna annoy me.
Googling on, yeah. Is the name Angela Black? The show.
The show's called Angela Black, yeah, and she's played by Joanne Froggatt, yeah. So Joanne Froggatt is a woman. She's in an abusive relationship. Her husband's a dickhead. He's slapping her about, and she's out and about one day, and some guy comes up to her and is like, I'm a private detective stroke kind of hitman, and your husband is trying to leave you, and he's trying to set you up, and you need to be very careful of him and all that stuff. So it starts there, and she's like, oh my God, I need to like protect myself from him. He's a very bad man, all of this stuff. And then it just kind of goes on from that. She's got 2 kids, and it kind of more is revealed about her life and coming up to that moment, and as it goes on, and then it's just basically she's somebody that is trying to get away from her husband while her husband is being an absolute arsehole. but it's a bit more straight. It's a bit more twisty and turny than that. It's not as straightforward as most of these things are. So I would really recommend that. And then I watched The Sister. That's got Russell Tovey in it, playing a guy.
That's from ITV. See, what I like about Netflix is you should always check the British section, because what I like about them is they're 4 episodes, 3 episodes, ones, very quick in and out. And
yeah, that's why. Yeah.
And they take the adverts out as well. So if you've got ITV Play, it's rubbish, because sometimes it just gets on an ad break, it freezes.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off so much.
Or if you try and rewind it, if you miss a bit, then it'll make you watch all the adverts again.
ITV Player, sort yourself out.
Yeah. So The Sister is about this guy who is living with this woman whose sister went missing, and some guy comes back and says, we have to, like, Russell Tovey plays this guy, and then this guy from his past comes and is like, they're building a housing estate where we buried her, we need to move her. And that's how it begins. And he's like, it turns out that he's living with the sister of this girl that went missing. And you find out more about how she died and all that stuff. And it's, again, twisty turny, 4 episodes, not much commitment. Very, what's the word I'm looking for? Low commitment. It was all right.
Does he keep his clothes on? Or does he take his clothes off? Because Russell Tovey, early days of this podcast, we used to applaud his butt cheeks.
Yeah, I think that was me. I brought that in there. Yes,
yes,
no,
you did.
He does not get his butt out nearly often enough. He don't even get it out at all, actually. Which is disappointing. He gets it out a lot in his series of American Horror Story.
Of course.
if that floats your boat, but he doesn't get it out.
He's got a good ass, to be fair.
But yeah, it's as I said, it's low commitment. I found Angela Black a bit better, a bit more exciting, a bit more twisty. But yeah, that was me. That's what I watched this week.
Lovely. Okay. But that's a roundup then. It's a quick one. And Helen is. So I think, so you might as well do all your social media stuff, and then we'll just bounce.
Yeah. So if you want to send us an email or you want to send us a tweet, it's at SquareEyesSyn, SquareEyessyn @twitter.com or at gmail.com.
Lovely. And there's a Facebook group. Troy and Tara, who are not here, have like YouTube and everything. Go find that one in the description below. So that leaves it for me to say bye. You'll see us next week. Literally, it's a spoiler. That is a spoiler. Sorry, right? This is it. You're still getting content from maybe, at least somebody's recording, right? That's the main thing. It only takes 2.
Bye.
Bye.